Lewis Hamilton reportedly says his Ferrari feels like an alien, and the verdict is shaking up the grid. After years in a Mercedes cockpit, the seven-time champion is now struggling to understand the SF25. He's called it strange, unpredictable, and completely different from anything he's ever driven before. Despite a sprint win in China, Hamilton has only one top-5 finish from 4 Grand Prix starts this season. He's adapting, the car's changing, and the pressure is ascending, both inside Ferrari and across the paddock. And he's not the only one speaking up. Charles Leclerc has sounded the alarm on development. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur is defending every decision, and Ferrari's title hopes are already under scrutiny. So, is this the beginning of a championship challenge, or the start of something much harder to fix? The first story is, according to reports, Lewis Hamilton has described his 2025 Ferrari as feeling alien, and he means every word of it. The seven-time world champion is facing a sharp learning curve in his first season away from the Mercedes garage. Across the opening 4 rounds, Hamilton has taken just one top-5 finish and one sprint win. But outside of that moment, his campaign has been full of frustration. In Bahrain, he qualified 9th and needed an offset strategy to recover to P5 by the end. The weekend offered mixed signals, but after the race, Hamilton opened up about the adaptation process. "It just feels so alien," he said in a post-race media debrief, speaking to outlets. "I think we all get stuck in our ways, and very stuck," he explained, referring to driving style habits. His usual approach, waiting for the car to come to him, no longer delivers consistent results. Ferrari's SF25 requires a different set of adjustments, particularly around electronic control unit ECU inputs and driving tools. Hamilton said the way Ferrari manages car behavior using ECU configurations feels entirely different to what Mercedes applied. His steering corrections, brake bias changes, and differential toggles now require real-time adjustments he wasn't used to before. These apparently small changes matter, especially in the high-speed sections where trust in the car is crucial. Despite the growing pains, Bahrain offered some optimism about what's improving behind the scenes at Maranello. The team introduced a new floor design for that weekend, and Hamilton praised the changes almost immediately. "The middle stint, I really felt realigned with the car," he said after the Grand Prix in Sakhir. He called the balance much more positive and said his natural driving cadence began to resurface during that phase. The team's decision to use the hard compound early allowed Hamilton to push harder in the final stages. He crossed the line just behind teammate Charles Leclerc and finished 5th in what was Ferrari's cleanest race of 2025. Hamilton stressed how much he had learned over the course of the weekend, particularly from long-run balance experimentation. "It was probably more than all the other weekends," he admitted when asked about overall progress in Bahrain. "There's still a long road ahead, but the signals are slowly changing." Now the real question is, can Hamilton bend his instincts far enough to make this machine truly his? The second story is, Charles Leclerc is frustrated, and this time he isn't hiding it behind polished media lines or vague optimism. The Monegasque driver began the season with a 4th-place finish in Bahrain after starting from the front row. He briefly led the opening laps but slipped back following a mid-race safety car and tire strategy reset. After the race, Leclerc described Ferrari's early season pace as worse than expected, adding that rivals were pulling ahead fast. He admitted Ferrari lacked the consistency to fight over full distances, especially against McLaren in race trim. Though qualifying speed has improved, Leclerc believes the team still faces structural issues with grip and cornering stability. The SF25's behavior in medium and high-speed turns continues to expose setup limitations that weren't fixed over winter. Ferrari introduced a new floor in Bahrain, and Leclerc said it helped, but only to a point. He foregrounded small gains in tire warm-up and turn-in response, but long-run degradation was always a concern. He also noted that while improvements were visible in specific stints, they didn't translate across full race conditions. Internally, Leclerc has reportedly requested deeper analysis into brake behavior and front-end feedback under heavy load. Sources say Ferrari's engineering team remains split on upgrade direction for upcoming races. Some want aerodynamic corrections, others believe mechanical grip must be addressed first. Leclerc's comments have reflected that uncertainty. He's spoken more about timelines and less about targets. During technical debriefs, he reportedly pointed out that Ferrari's peak lap times demand too much tire energy too early. His average stint length has dropped, which forced the team into reactive strategies that limit race flexibility. In China, he found himself unable to attack the midfield consistently without sacrificing tire performance after 6 to 8 laps. Despite those issues, Leclerc has maintained a firm public stance that Ferrari can still recover this season. However, he has called attention to real steps instead of incremental ones. Observers say his tone has sharpened, still committed, but increasingly careful about promises. His relationship with the team seems to be healthy, but it's evident the patience clock is ticking louder. And if podiums stay out of reach through the next phase of the season, will Charles Leclerc keep waiting for Ferrari to get it right, or start preparing for something else? Now moving to the third story, Frédéric Vasseur is facing his first real storm as Ferrari's team boss. 4 races in, and the pressure is already immense. The results haven't matched the ambition. There's no podium or front row starts. Just questions are floating around, and they're getting louder each weekend. Internally, Vasseur has called for calm, claim sources. Publicly, he's described the start as not ideal, but manageable. But behind that, the frustration is real, and it has started showing up. According to paddock insiders, Ferrari's SF25 hasn't delivered the step forward the team had promised. McLaren's gush has caught many off guard, but Ferrari's own setbacks have hurt worse. Drivers are speaking more freely. Both Scuderian drivers are trying to adapt, but the margins are still pretty thin. Vasseur has reportedly pushed back against claims the car's concept is broken. He insists the issue lies in its operating window. It's too narrow, too sensitive, and too hard to keep in the right zone. Some races, the SF25 looks stable. Others, it looks unpredictable. That inconsistency has pushed the team to rely on offset strategies instead of outright pace. The technical team has pointed to corner entry instability, inconsistent rear grip, and brake cooling issues across different circuits. Sources suggest Vasseur has been heedful about approving aggressive upgrades too early. He's reportedly told engineers to prioritize balance over chasing raw numbers. That decision has divided the garage. Some want immediate gains, while others want to fix the platform first. In media briefings, Vasseur has maintained that there's no magic bullet. He described the process as step-by-step, but step-by-step hardly wins titles, and the gap to McLaren is growing weekly. Pressure is also coming from above. According to reports, Ferrari executives have asked for clearer performance targets before the mid-season break. Budget allocation is now under tighter review. On top of that, Vasseur is managing 2 very different drivers. Hamilton, the Englishman in red, is still exploring, while Leclerc seems restless. Both are veterans, both expect more, but at the same time, both are looking for the right direction. So far, Vasseur has tried to hold it together, in meetings, in press conferences, and behind closed doors. But 4 races into 2025, Ferrari is neither leading nor fighting, it's reacting. And Vasseur probably knows that's not sustainable. The next decisions won't just shape the car, they'll define how much control he really has. Can Frédéric Vasseur keep this team unified? Or is the unraveling already underway? Ferrari is under the spotlight, and every move is being questioned. The drivers want more. So does the factory. Is this the path back to the front, or the start of something they can't control? Subscribe now if you haven't already, because the next phase could reshape everything you thought you knew.